If you have chronic fatigue syndrome, it's likely that somebody has told you that it's all in your head. So, is it? Even just hearing about mind-body work or nervous system work can also make it seem like it's psychosomatic. I just put together a little paper for my blog that explains all of the biological underpinnings of MEcfs that we currently understand, from what I could find in the literature at least. And I'm going to take some time in this video to go through it with you so you understand what's happening in your body and why nervous system work is still very important. All right, let's get into it. MEcfs, or myalgic encephalomyelitis chronic fatigue syndrome, starts with an initiating factor. This is a massive stress to your nervous system, which can be a virus, it can be a trauma, it can be chronic low-grade stress over time. There's some evidence of environmental toxins as well. I've even seen clients have this from food poisoning. Either way, the initiating factor sets off a cascade of loops within your body. Your body does the intelligent thing. It starts to activate neuroglia, inflammation, your immune system, your nervous system, to help you fight against or defend against this thing that you're experiencing. The problem becomes that these get stuck in cycles. So even when the threat is long gone, your body's running these loops of biological mechanisms to protect you against something that it doesn't need to protect you against anymore. Glial cells in your brain, which are not neurons, they're the thing that glues neurons together, actually play a really important role in immune function and regulating different parts of our body. When these cells are stressed enough, they can carry something called a stress memory. And when that's overactive, it activates the rest of your body and your nervous system, making your body really, really sensitive to even small triggers. This is part of the hypothesis of what causes post-exertional malaise, or PEM. Activated emotions and chronic stress that comes with this condition and from this condition can actually make this worse and keep us stuck in those loops. We'll talk more about stress later. Now, if you're familiar with these conditions, you've also heard of mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of your cell, and they also go into a state of dysregulation when you're in these chronic loops. That means that your mitochondria are not producing ATP, or energy. This is a state of dysfunction, and sometimes our mitochondria can even become damaged. However, our mitochondria are capable of biogenesis. So they're capable of regenerating themselves with the right approaches. There are also loops in the immune system, and especially in inflammation. The amount of inflammation and cytokines that your body is producing is way too much for the amount of threat that's present in your body. It's almost like you stub your toe and then the swelling and redness just doesn't go down. Like your body is perceiving that you've repeatedly stubbed your toe even though you just stubbed it once. Now, I've left the nervous system until last because oftentimes we talk about it first, and sometimes people find that a little bit invalidating. But your autonomic nervous system is dysregulated after this massive threat to the system. That means that you're stuck in sympathetic fight or flight overdrive, or in freeze and faint, which is shutting the body down and causing that extreme exhaustion. There was also a really cool recent study about genetics and MEcfs, which found that there are genetic correlations for people who have MEcfs. There are actually 8 genes that are associated with developing MEcfs, which is more affirmation of the biological underpinnings of this and how much is going on in your body. But it is also important to understand that stress and epigenetics can influence whether genetics are turned on and off, and regulating these systems can help turn those genes off so they're not expressing themselves. Now, this is why mind-body work or nervous system regulation work should start to come in and shine really brightly and not be invalidating, but actually be very empowering. Every single one of these systems, your neuroglia, your immune system, your inflammation, and your mitochondria, are all influenced by stress. High levels of stress, emotional distress, and activation of your nervous system can keep these systems in their loops and keep them protecting when the body doesn't need protection anymore. Stress reduction through nervous system practices can even support things like your cardiovascular and endothelial health, which is disrupted with these conditions as well. Things like meditation, yoga, deep breathing, hypnosis, all act to shift you into that parasympathetic state. And when your body's in that state, it is capable of regulating all of these systems, which is so cool because it means that you actually have power. You can do things that can influence your body. The one thing that's often missing from mind-body approaches is actually working with the body. So I don't actually suggest that people just work on their nervous system or just work on brain retraining. We also have to support the systems in our body that are in these loops. One of the things we can do is mind-body practices, and I talk a lot about that on this channel. Another thing we can do is get the right amount of movement, and I will make a video that explains pacing in great detail. Getting the right nutrition, supplements, and medication is also extremely important to treat these downstream effects that have happened in the body. And doing what we can to support your sleep can also be very restorative for these systems. You can check out this paper on my website, which the link is in my bio, and I'm going to be releasing a course that covers all of this in great detail, exactly step by step how you can heal. If you'd like to join that course, please comment rewire below and I will add you to the email list. And you can screen grab this if you want to check out the references.